my, I used to have the most horrible gas. Horrible. After a surgery. It was so horrible. Ugh. Thank God that's gone. I'm surprised I still have a husband.
He probably just held his nose. Y'all be all right.
What happened?
He's a trooper, man. He's a trooper.
Why did you have such horrible?
I don't know. I think it was a bacteria. It went away after I took a strong antibiotic.
Oh. Yeah, that's the true testament of a good marriage.
Absolutely. Oh, did you guys hear what the Mexican president said about Trump deporting people? If they're going to deport anyone to Mexico that is not from Mexico, they will send them directly back here. And if they start deporting Mexicans back to Mexico, Mexico will start deporting
for 7 months.
United States citizens.
Oh, the Park Royal. Ain't nobody told their American ass to go down there. That is their problem.
So you mean we're going to solve a whole bunch of murders now for all those people that actually fled to Mexico to escape being prosecuted for child?
There's actually a shit ton of expats in Mexico City and in different areas around there that I've heard about. But did he say that? Did AMLO say that in his morning meeting? I think he has a televised morning meeting, like a kind of like the whole damn country can tune into. Or she. Wait, do they have a new president? I'm stupid.
Yeah, I think she's Jewish too.
I
think she's
Jewish.
Not practicing.
Right.
Most of those.
Okay. And we believe in you.
You're in the matrix.
So it's not really a credible problem for those people because if they want to live in Latin America, Costa Rica will welcome them, Honduras will welcome them. There's 20 countries in Latin America that will welcome them. So her threats are empty in my home.
About the process and and I would like if you
Why
can,
are her threats empty? I don't understand that. I mean,
a short quick call. 2 minute call.
I think that
but very much
this would ruin a lot of people's lives. How is that an empty threat?
It doesn't ruin lives. I've been to Mexico.
Oh, what the fuck are you talking about?
Is it me, or does the new president of Mexico kind of look like Rudy Giuliani with a wig?
We can just go ahead and send those stuff.
She's actually a brilliant young woman. She was a physicist, and she's very smart, and she's patriotic.
And we don't like her.
Why? I'm not telling you, but why don't you like her? Who is we? I like her.
Victor thinks.
She is not a young woman. That woman is 62. She's an elderly woman.
Mexico is its own country. They deserve a competent, high IQ president.
I cannot agree to.
What makes her high IQ?
She's a physicist. She's literally a physicist.
She's high. So that's great. She can work in a field of whatever physics. But I mean, that doesn't mean she's great at governing. High IQ, I really get confused on this on political topics. Like you guys, like I hear this, from a whole variety of people. Like, oh, they're high IQ. They'll be great as president and leaders, and they should have them. No, it doesn't work that way. Like, there's plenty of intelligent people that can't even fucking trust themselves. They have a lack of common sense. They don't understand dynamics or downstream. They don't understand impacts in any kind of scale. And to be honest with you, just because she's a physicist and she graduated college regurgitating what the professor told her, I'm okay with it. If she's been exemplary in her field, hats off to her. She's a genius. Like great. But it doesn't mean she'll be a great politician or great for the people of Mexico. And in fact, doesn't she have a shit ton of corruption just expounded lately? Isn't she caught up in a whole bunch of shit? Isn't her government basically taking a backpedal to like a massive cartel thing?
Well, actually, Brad, I didn't interrupt you. She was the mayor of Mexico City, and she did a fucking good job running Mexico City and improving it. In fact, she made Mexico City so wonderful that a lot of Americans left America and moved.
I'm pretty sure that AMLO also curbed a lot of corruption during his term as president, and got a lot of the government capture out of there. I'm not saying everything, but they eliminated a lot.
Confuse me if I'm wrong, but between these two terms, wasn't like a group of Americans who were living in some kind of commune or neighborhood in Mexico, like gunned down by the cartels? Didn't we have like people who've been getting gunned down at the border by cartels under both of these administrations that have been currently in Mexico? Pretty sure that has happened. Oh, and didn't migrant caravans, child sex trafficking, and drugs proliferate going through Mexico and into the United States through Mexico under these two administrations? Just confused, but I'm just asking for a friend.
I'm just befuddled by this prejudice against Mexico. Mexico is our neighbor, and you can love America without being hateful towards Mexico.
Why? What does Mexico do for us?
Or smart people.
What does Mexico do for us? Well, actually, we have a lot of agricultural products that we get from Mexico. We have a very healthy exports to Mexico. U.S. exports to Mexico are very profitable. This idea of cutting off Mexico having nothing to do with them, I literally, when people suggest it, I don't know whether they're joking or.
So,
Don, can you share the link to where you found that? Because I couldn't find where she said they would deport the American.
Yeah, I mean, almost all of our, in the Atlanta, Georgia area, southeast or whatever, a lot of our, like, strawberries, limes, a lot of our produce comes from either Mexico, or a lot of onions come from Peru. I mean, they're I don't know if you've ever heard of the Vidalia onions, but they're grown in Peru, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of the South American countries are now, Chile is, that's where a lot of our grapes come from.
Yeah, if you're MAGA and you're in favor of deporting 100% of illegals, you have to be in favor of agricultural trade. I'll explain why, right? A small number of fruits require an enormous amount of low-paid labor to grow them. It's a small number of fruits. Once America deports 100% of illegals, we will not be.
I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you finish. You are sitting on a stage with two people, okay, that are Black Americans that have a very sensitive history with what you were just saying, and you just flagrantly and just passively talking about slave labor. So please be very careful in your explanation as you continue.
Okay, I'm grateful for you bringing that up. Actually, I'm against slavery, and I'm against low wages, and I'm in favor of deporting all the illegals. And so what I'm saying is, a person that wants every fucking American to get a high-paid job, the only way in the world that every single fucker in America can get a high-paid job is if the low-paid shit jobs are done somewhere else. Therefore, picking strawberries has to be done in Mexico. Picking strawberries is a low-wage job. So again, if you love your fellow fucking Americans of all races and all religions, if you love America, you love Americans, if you want everyone with a high-paying job, you have to have trade.
well, yeah, we have to have trade. I don't disagree with it. I think we should have balanced trade. I think we should get a quid pro quo in regards to reciprocal trades that are effective. Mexico is, to all intents and purposes, is a welfare country or nation currently under the existence and protection of the United States. It survives on water filtrations from us for the majority of it, electrical grids,
global remittances.
Yeah, like a whole bunch of shit. So, like, the idea that somehow I need to, in order to be American, want everybody to have a high-paying job. No, I actually don't want every American to have a high-paying job. I think that's the stupidest fucking idea that I've ever heard on a stage. What I want is the economy to be able to work for Americans. I want people to be able to go to the grocery store and not buy $10 gallon of milk. Just increasing people's wages does not help them out, Snoopy. That is really asinine to kind of go there with this logic. And again, it shows the Enlightenment. The idea that you now want a migrant class to pick your strawberries so your fat asses can have them on your fucking bloated gelato fucking ice cream from Blue Cow Dairy Bells or whatever it is, and think somehow that that's appropriate for an entitled area. Welcome to the downfall of Rome. And again, I don't have any stock in people who espouse that kind of shit. I want Americans to have the government off of their backs and out of their pockets and allow them to be able to make their own decisions, as well as be accountable for those decisions and suffer the repercussions for those decisions that they make. And not everybody's going to make it. I wish everybody the best of luck, but I don't want everybody in America to be a multimillionaire. That's just absurd. It's not how the economy would work. And in fact, it would actually put us in a pauper state within a short time frame, and everything would still increase in cost. If everybody's a millionaire, then everything's going to go up by $1 million. It's just simple economics. And I want to live in a country that does that shit. I actually want people to be able to go out and afford to live, and then be able to achieve goals and dreams that they desire, and be able to go through and build businesses and build shops and do what they want to do. They want to be a farmer? Go ahead. They want to pick strawberries? Go ahead. You want to be a CEO of a fucking Fortune 500 company? Go ahead. Not all of you are going to make it, but I at least want you to have the opportunity to go ahead and do so.
I don't think that California, the state that I live in, I don't know where you're at, President. I mean, would you mind saying what state that you're in?
I'm not going to say it, no.
Okay. Well, I mean, are you in California?
I'm not going to say that, no.
Okay. Well, for anybody that's not in California, your access to agriculture is your problem. For us, we don't have a problem cultivating agriculture. The same way it wasn't anybody's fucking problem with these people coming over the border. So when it comes to the end of the day is going to end, and those people have to go. End of story. I mean, I don't know what else to say to you people. I mean, it's senseless that our laws as a sovereign country just suddenly don't make a difference when it comes to having these conversations.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that because of robots and automation, we're looking at an America where every single person in America will have much higher real wages in 20 years. That's everyone of every race, every religion. And I'm already seeing it. You know, if you go to McDonald's today, for example, in order to use fewer workers, they're putting in kiosks. The kiosks work well. When I go to McDonald's, I use the mobile app. The mobile app cuts out about 30% of the labor. And if you just Google it, you'll see that in Texas, they've just introduced robots to build houses. The robots are building houses much cheaper than humans. So the bottom line is America can deport 100% of illegals. America can pay higher wages to everyone here and our standard of living. We can have it all through automation. And the pessimists and the Luddites here, I just respectfully say they're wrong. I'm done speaking. I want to hear from everyone else.
You're done speaking, so I'm gonna say this. So it's funny how you say, oh, everybody's going to have great with more automation and less skill sets. Price of a Big Mac on average, I think it was $22 for some shitty burger on some processed buns with a whole bunch of sugar, some fries, and one of those gigantic fucking gallon jugs that people like drown their kidneys in. That's $22 on average or something weird like that. I know when I saw it from the highway and saw advertisements, I saw anywhere from $15 to $30, which is fucking insane for one of these meals, and still couldn't figure out why people were standing in line to get these. And you're saying automation has helped that. As a kid, I can remember that a burger cost $0.25. I can remember the economy not being so expensive as you could eat at home. It was actually more affordable to eat at home as a child than it was to go out to a restaurant. I remember people being able to do that. So while you cheer on this, I want an economy ran by robots and AI because you can't function, you are retarded, you can't wipe your own fucking ass without assistance because you are not a species, they're the type of guy that shouldn't reproduce. You cannot function. You are a least desirable male. You are a least desirable person if you're on that track because you just don't have the capabilities to actually do anything. And it's sad that we just want to hand over everything. We want to hand over art. You had NFTs for a while there. Oh, it's going to replace artwork. It's going to replace all this. You want to hand over everything to AI and machines. And you can't even do it for yourself. You can't even grill a fucking burger. Something as simple as that. You can't take ground meat, add it in there, sprinkle a dash of salt, and then fucking grill it on a grill and actually serve yourself. You can't do it. You can't even make bread. Most of you can't even cook. I can't fucking cook. But at least I can cook over a campfire. I can boil water. I can find water. I've done a lot. But you guys can't cook for shit without a whole bunch of technology and assistance to go ahead and do it. And that's sad. I feel sorry for you guys.
I don't think he heard you. He left.
Of course he did. I don't know how to say this. Like, I don't know, Adams. Maybe it's just me, or maybe me. Like, I just met, like, I see down here individual businesses in Houston. Like, there are fucking food trucks everywhere. There are whole families cooking this shit. Oh, by the way, every gas station is owned by an immigrant, I would say. Non-native born Americans, because they barely speak English, and no, they're not Hispanic. They're usually Indian or some other Middle Eastern, and they're making a go at it. Hats off to them. They open a gas station. They're making ends meet. Their entire family works it. I see food trucks galore. I see clothing businesses, detailing, fucking everything out there coming out here. Any opportunity to have business, something I haven't seen in a while in northern cities, particularly Democrat runs. And so I'm heightened to see this, but the idea you just want to hand shit off and just be like, oh, AI is going to improve your life. Maybe. There's also negative consequences to it. It's just going to change your life. It's not going to make it better. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to alter it. And you'll become fatter. You'll look like the people in that Disney cartoon WALL-E. And you'll just be sitting there with a hover chair, sucking down whatever they feed you and thinking you're important. And you're really not. You're just a tax base. You're just a profit center for the government. I know automated cars are not making a great wave. It only works in certain areas. They can't work in climates like diverse. They can't navigate terrain that's difficult. They can't avoid detection. There's a host of problems. Maybe one day they'll get there, President, where automated cars drive us down the road. And again, I'll say it's a sad state, the fact that you would no longer have the joy of handling your own automobile, driving down a winding mountain road, and being able to have that kind of control in your hands. But, you do you. People get more excited to watch a Netflix movie or something about, like, Tiger King while they get to drive to work. I don't know.
Hey, Brad, question. How do you see the next 15 years playing out as far as like wages, immigration, inflation, just overall like the economy? Like, how do you see it going for the majority of Americans?
See the majority of Americans getting outpaced by the cost of living while being told that this is the new keeping up with the Joneses. I honestly, Trump's only got 4 years, and I don't have like an entire faith in one man like he's some kind of sky daddy. I don't have a lot of faith in Congress. I don't have a lot of faith in either political party because they grift off of all of us. But I have hopes that it breaks the system and somehow for a short time period we come to the realization that, hey, maybe we ought to check some things here and actually do something about it. Trump's going to fix some things. He's not going to do it to the extent that everybody has these expectations. But I think, Hakima, our cost of living is going to increase dramatically in the next 15 years. I think we're going to have a widening, an even more widening gap between the wealthy and the middle income and the rest of Americans. We're going to see that middle income and poverty gap start to expand a little bit more, while people start to realize what is actually affecting economic stability in our nation. And I think as you price out and transition the economy as introduction of automation, AI, robotics, there's going to be a stunted growth period where you're going to have a generation that's not able to function in that society very well, and then a generation that's up and coming that will be born into that society that will be able to function. So there'll be a gap that'll occur there. And I don't necessarily know, but I don't think it'll be dire for all, but I think it should be concerning for people to kind of look at how we're spending in our government, how our communities are spending, and how our states are spending their money. But we'll see.
I agree with what you're saying, but I just think one part you didn't add is going to be happening. There's going to be a lot of civil unrest going on in between. But I'm like, I don't want. Do anybody have a more optimistic view? Like, anybody think things will get better in the next 15 years? Like, and tell me how, please.
Optimistic view. I think in 15 years, everyone in
I'm talking about over the next 15 years, not just what it's going to be.
Okay, I'm saying over the next 15 years. So I'll give you an example very briefly. First of all, optimists are boring as hell. No one wants to fucking hear an optimist, so I'm going to try to be succinct. I remember when I was a child, all men wanted a giant flat panel TV. When I was a child, a giant flat panel TV was $3,000, and most families couldn't afford them. And because of robots and automation and free trade, the price of that same flat panel TV that used to be $3,000 is down to $300. That is the price of flat panel TVs only because of robots and automation and science and free trade. It's down 90%. Now, nobody likes to talk about this. Nobody in either political party likes to talk about it because optimists, as I said, are boring. But it's true. What happened to the price of TVs is about to happen to condominiums, to apartments, to transportation. Almost everything that we as humans want in order to make us happy, it's about to plummet in price. That's my prediction, and I urge you to write it down and check back with me in 15 years and see who's right, the pessimist here or...
So you think automation is going to add more jobs than lost jobs?
Yeah, it'll add jobs, but more importantly, in real terms, the jobs will pay 2-3 times as much money. I'm specifically predicting that the average man who graduates from high school, who stays off drugs and works a normal job, I'm predicting in most of America, he'll be able to buy a house right when he gets out of high school, and the house will be 3 bedrooms. And the reason it'll be so fucking cheap is because the house will be built entirely by robots. And anyone that thinks that I'm a retard can just go to the room chat. There's 5 companies who are starting to build houses using robots in the next 5 years. The pessimists always are more interesting. They're always more spicy. But they're wrong. They're fucking wrong. I'm done speaking. Go to the room chat and read it. If you don't like it, fuck.
Wait, can I say something? Oh, okay, he put down to the thing. I'm just curious why you mentioned about boys graduating from high school, and I think that's a very interesting take you did about being more concerned about, like, not just high school graduates, but you were very specific about gender. So where did that come from? Are we going backwards, like, as a society? Does anybody have, as I feel like we are, I feel like 20 years ago, because I'm 48 now, and I feel like 20 years ago that things were a lot more friendly, or just
Like, it was no big deal to know what gender. It just didn't get nobody. It didn't matter what gender you were. I mean, it's just generally speaking. Yes, there are specialties, but I feel like that there's a lot now where there's that. Is it just me that it's focused now, like women are just not part of the workforce?
You can't take like what idiots say like that. They're just like, the wages, everybody will be happy. Like, even people in the past, like Kima said it best. What's it going to be like in 15 years? Look back at the prognosticators in 15 years ago, how they said, oh, this is going to be great. It's a hope and change. We're going to be more economically powerful. We're going to invest in America. Everybody's going to be healthy. And we have a Rust Belt. We have, it wasn't so great. Like, you can't even deny it. You could say, oh, compared to the guy before, it was better or worse. But it really wasn't great. Not by the standards that, like, idiots come on stage and say, well, AI and robotics are going to save all of us. Maybe. Yeah, there's going to be improvements. I'm sure surgeries will go good. Maybe a house will be better built. Maybe not. I'm not exactly sure. We already use technology in building homes, so that's kind of weird that now all of a sudden we've been doing it for the last, 75 fucking years, but, in 15 years, that's going to just be wholesale done, but, whatever. I mean, it's not like we haven't had CAD design, architects, computer programming, logistics. Like, we've done all of this shit with even some automation on homes. So it just floors me that these guys, people would come up here and say, everybody's going to earn more money despite being not able to function in a society. You can't take a heavy equipment operator and say, you know what, you're going to earn more money, and cast them aside and say, now we're going to just allow AI to operate this bulldozer. It doesn't work that way. What's that guy going to do? What's he going to train on? Where's he going to get?
That's what I want to know. Like they automate in restaurants, fucking grocery stores, fast food restaurants, tractor trailers. Uber is even talking about being automated by 2035. Like, factories, like, who, like, what are all those people going to do? Then people talk about UBI, like, where is that money going to come from? Like, the gang dude talk about giving somebody $1,200 a month. What are you going to do with $1,200 a month? I'm so lost with anybody that can see optimism. I don't care who president, Trump, Kamala, I don't care who. But that's the way this country works. I don't see how someone sees a brighter future anytime in the near future. Maybe 200 years from now, after done fucking like Brass A done fucking completely broke and they rebuild it. But I see doom and gloom in the next 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Hey, Kima, what's funny is, like, we've had automation at sea, since I started out as a sailor. So, like, there's been automation at sea, folks. Like, we've had guidance systems that navigate the seas for you. You still have to stand to watch, and there's a helmsman there to kind of ensure things, like, function. But here's the funny shit. Shit still breaks. They still crash. Like, you have millions of miles of fucking ocean out there, and ships still collide. I'm still fascinated by this fact. But ships collide in the middle of the sea, sink and drown, and pour millions of gallons of fucking oil and chemicals into the sea. And that shit happens. That shit happens with AI, too, in fact. You have, we've been navigating through buoys and trying to depict weather patterns, and we've had all this AI utilize and do all this stuff and still get it functionally fucking wrong. Yeah, maybe in 15 years it'll magically flip a switch and be perfect every time. I doubt it. But I don't see truckers on the road. I don't see anybody wanting to take that 18-wheeler and trust an AI system on it when we can't even get a freighter in thousands of miles of ocean from crashing itself into another fucking freighter or buoy or fucking, crashing in at a port, which happens all too frequently. All of these things are already done. And yes, you can show me examples of where it's successful, but overwhelmingly, I have seen it personally fail. I have been on ships where the AI has absolutely failed and wanted me to ram into something. And again, you have to have somebody there. I'm just saying, like, and again, why would we want to get rid of the bulldozer driver, like a heavy equipment operator? Like, why do I want to get rid of that guy? Why do I want to price him and his family out of home? Like, he makes a good living. He enjoys what he's doing. What are you going to train him on? How to drive a video game? Like, I don't know. Like, I just, maybe the world just went and it wants more than it can actually deliver. And I think these people are just like, so they're living for tomorrow, and they don't even realize what they have today, and they can't even function in today's society. And I can't imagine them functioning in 15 years from now and thinking that a total AI society is going to be perfect for them.
You gotta wait and see. And hopefully I'm wrong. I hope that somehow we got an automated system and I can sit home and have enough money to fucking go buy this cheaper flat screen TV and shit like that, and be able to travel when I want to. But I don't see it getting there. But I wouldn't mind that utopia, but I don't see it.
I still only have one. Well, I had 3. I sold 2 off because people kept giving me fucking TVs because I didn't watch TV. Now I have 1. I sold that one off. For $25 to whoever came and picked it up. I just literally wanted them gone. I don't watch a shit ton of TV. I don't know how you guys get through like whole series. Like, I can't do those shows. Like, what was that show? Yellowstone. I watched 2 episodes and I was just like, I'm done. Vikings, same thing. Watched a couple, kind of laughed. Started checking out the inaccuracies and I was like, I'm done. And so, you know, I just don't know why you guys want to just spend your life in front of a flat screen. There's a whole world out there. You got people who built great things that are still standing today. You've got fucking the Colosseums. You've got pyramids. You got all sorts of statues, monuments. You got parks to go play in. You've got all this shit that you don't have to look at Instagram. All it takes is just some bread, cheese, meat. Throw it in a fucking sack, hop up. Fucking in it, take your fucking, I don't know, Prius and head to wherever the fuck it is you're gonna go. Go out and live life. Go cut down your own Christmas tree. Stop being allergic to fucking shit. I don't know what to tell you. And Kima, can you imagine the houses, like, they're already overpriced for what I think you're paying for. Like, I think you guys are paying way too much for homes now. I'm looking at them now again, and I'm blown away at a home that, I'm going to be honest with you, some of them shouldn't be above freaking $50,000. Some of them shouldn't be above 75, but yet they're listed for $500,000. And I'm looking at it, shitty fucking molding. Prefabricated, not even done. You don't have it. The fucking cupboards are imbalanced. I'm looking at one right now. Cupboard doors aren't even. It doesn't fly. It seams doesn't go through. The paint job looks like a fucking 2-year-old drew with it on fucking Crayola and then sneezed on it. The vents aren't flush. Let's see, what else is in here? Oh, the sink's not flush. It's not even fucking caulked. Fucking blinds. That's really great. Someone can't even hang a fucking curtain rod. And you got a shitty fridge with a TV screen on it. Like, who the fuck needs a TV screen on their fucking fridge? What the fuck? How lazy are people? Like, hey, Kima, go look at old architecture from like the 50s, 60s, how they built things, like, you know, how they put things together, and then look at a new home, a new build within the last 10 years. Look at the differences and the attention to detail. Like, there's no gaps in the molding. There's crown molding. Like, it's done. You're mudding your drywall is fucking, you don't see that bubbling that in the middle because they couldn't fucking tape and all they did was just fucking hammer it down and just try to fucking slap some mud over it and that was it. You don't have, and some of those homes are still fucking standing. Those Victorian homes are still standing for a reason. They were built well. Your newer homes, they don't stand so well. And whoever invented popcorn ceilings really needs to be dragged out in the street and shot.
What are popcorn ceilings?
Textured ceilings. They're the biggest pain in the ass because if you want to repaint it, you have to find the same nep and you got to paint over it. And if you got to patch it, then you got to try to blend it. And it's just, it's fucking ridiculous. I hate them.
You don't mean the old school, like, tin stuff that you find in old buildings, right? That's not what you're talking about.
Tin? No. Who puts tin on a ceiling anymore?
I mean, the old school house, not houses, but apartments or spaces where if you look on the top of the ceiling, there's like, it's I don't know if it's tin because I can't reach it, but it's like there's designs and it looks like it's metallic.
Ooh, those are pretty. No, popcorn ceilings with glitter. I had one in a house once. You know what I'm talking about? It's got glitter in it. That was wild.
Send me a photo, Sarah. I have no idea what it looks like.
Well, I don't live there anymore, but those tin ceilings are nice too. Those are pretty.
Think about it. When it's a textured ceiling, so when you rub your hands, it's not smooth. It's all bumpy. It feels, I don't know. It just has a lot of lumps on it. I don't know. It's like cottage cheese. It looks like fucking cottage cheese.
Like schools, like school ceilings, not homes, right? I know what you're talking about now. Sorry.
If you have one, get rid of that shit. It is annoying. It's a pain in the ass to paint. And they suck. They collect dust.
You heard about the second grader that was supposedly lynched at school?
No.
Wow, that was a total topic change, but wow, I hope that's not real. That's a terrible thing.
Did you say supposedly, Dr. Adams?
Well, the school is saying that the child's jacket got caught in the stall of the bathroom door. The mother is going on social media and saying that her child what do you call it? Was basically lynched.
How does your jacket get caught on the stall of a bathroom door and you hang yourself? That just does not sound realistic. I mean, I agree with the mother.
There's been a lot of suspect hangings, particularly in the South, where these, a couple of black guys, one was a truck driver from Chicago, went to South Carolina, and somehow got found hanging in the park. And there was another black guy, they found him hanging somewhere else, and they called them all suicides. But none of the families believed it. But they ruined a lot of things, suicides or accidents. I'm suspect about it.
Whatever you have proposed on the amendment, let's say, just to move forward.
Well, according to this story, both the students were black. So, I mean, that's the one. That's the one thing I will say, Hakima, that could have went very left in a different direction had that not been the case. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like these kids were just not supervised, and people are just kind of making